The reason why I say that is Putin is literally so unanimously known for his people being sent.
Harsh dictatorship.
Well, yeah, that too. But people being sent and killing, not killing, but making people go missing, I guess. Like reporters or people who are up against him, and opposing him because he's such a terrible leader. And
yeah, it's just your classic totalitarian, like whatever. Yeah. It's a totalitarian, yeah.
Can't go against him, can't say anything, or you can be killed and put in jail.
I know. And honestly, I don't know how I feel about that, saying this on YouTube. If he finds this video, please don't. No, I'm just kidding.
There's nothing he could do here.
Yeah, there literally is nothing that he could do here. But it's just like, I mean, you've seen it happen, with his... Good morning, good evening, and good night, Bulldogs. Whichever time you're watching this, I'm Isaiah Ortiz.
And I'm Michelle Butram.
And you're watching The Bulldog Experience. So we are back with another podcast, but we have a different person this time.
Yes.
What's your name? No, just kidding. Justice. No. Yeah. Niran Stugo, Bulldog TB, and wait, what is your rank? Like what? Like on the website?
I think I have you listed
rank,
as like
the military.
Chief Audio Engineer.
Yes, Chief Audio Engineer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And audio is a really hard job, literally, when you just look at like Jacob's little thing over there with all the audio on it.
Oh yeah.
I could not imagine doing that. You just like, what do you even like do? Like, I just don't understand it. Like, there's no way that I could like memorize all that.
Like all the little taps in the
people in order, and you gotta like move them up for certain volumes and stuff.
I could probably learn it, but it's just
down.
like it's not for me. I just can't. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, and audio is important. I mean,
right now it's important.
I know, yeah, especially for a podcast. But I mean, you could sneak like a mistake through visually, because people are looking at their phone. They might not be watching the screen the whole time. Everyone will 100% know when the audio person messed up. So it's a tough job, and it's one of the jobs where, like, at least in my book, you have to be absolutely perfect. And Justice is really good at doing that. So
thank you.
We appreciate having you here, as we're going to talk about our topics for today's podcast will be the Babushka Lady, of course, Ukraine, and Russia, as that's literally the biggest topic. We just wanted to talk about Olympics last time because, we had that whole thing going on. And, the other thing is that war is just very, like, it's depressing to talk about. It really is depressing to talk about. And, geez, I could hear myself breathe right there. It sounded, like, so raspy, bro. Okay, but anyways, with that being said, we're going to talk about Ukraine and Russia, and we are also going to talk about the Cold War and just some stuff with that. And that's pretty much it. So, gonna be honest, the masks look very ugly. All you viewers out there are probably like, put the mask back on.
Put them back on.
But I mean, honestly, it's very refreshing to like not have them on because you got that hot air coming back into you.
Smell your own breath.
I know exactly.
Exactly.
And like if you're like running and then you start sweating and it's just like.
Or walking up these stairs.
Walking up the stairs
I feel like
are
get
annoying.
Like that, pull my mask up.
I know something about them. Brutal.
And obviously, as you've seen in the last podcast, I've been wearing the N95 mask. And those are pretty good air-wise, but, like, I mean, they're not, like, they kind of do get hot whenever you get sweaty and that kind of thing. They get, like, really hot, and I really, like, hate it. And it didn't fog up my glasses as much, which I kind of liked. You know, that was a nice perk. But it wasn't, like, I just don't really want to wear it all the time. It's, like, kind of annoying sometimes. But
They squeeze your head like crazy. Those
they,
N95s.
They do, actually. They squeeze my head, and I think one of the bands kind of, like, made, like, a blister
That
on
happened to
my
me
ear.
too.
Yeah.
And it hurts.
It hurts. I don't even know. Like, have you ever tried the N95 mask or no? No. You're bad.
It's just
You're
like
bad,
the
you're just
friction
not.
that rubs up against it.
And
Not fun.
the way you have to wear them, they're like that, those bands, because, you know, they have to make it so tight so that no, you know, air or whatever, COVID-19, disgusting, gets it. But, very weird not having the masks. I mean, you know, the district said that we don't have to wear masks anymore, and, you know, there's a lot of people not wearing masks, and also you see a lot of people, some wearing masks, you know, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly fine.
That's fine.
Like,
you
you
know?
do you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the biggest issue that people had is they wanted their right of choice back.
Mm-hmm.
If
Right.
you don't want to wear one, don't wear one. If
Mhm.
you want to wear one, wear it. No one's going to say anything.
I think
We
I
can all
really-
make decisions for ourselves.
Exactly, and I really, like, came to, like, the realization that, you know, COVID's gonna be around, like, pretty much all the time now. It's not gonna go away, because it's pretty much like the flu already now, and the flu is a common thing, and it's just, like, really, I mean, it's just a common thing, you know. It's like this is gonna stick around until the world ends, pretty much. Which I hope isn't soon with Russia and Ukraine, which is what we're going to talk about.
What a transition that was.
I know, that was a
Love it.
terrible transition, but go ahead, speak your thoughts. What have you seen in the news that's, like,
Well,
really...
before we get into it, we do have
Oh,
one
shoot.
thing.
Whoops. Literally forgot one of the most important things is the Broadcaster Pro.
Yep.
And basically, what is the Broadcaster Pro?
Good audio.
Good.
Nice sound
Mi-
effects.
yeah. Mixes our sound for better quality, I think.
If
It
you know...
does.
Yeah, I know.
It has that option.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to... Wait a minute.
But the thing about the Rodecaster Pro, it is true. It does give better audio. I mean, as you can tell right now, I feel like I've already peaked it, to be honest, with how...
No,
like-
you haven't. It has
Oh.
protections against it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
There's like all kinds of things like that.
Yeah, and I know there's
it-
protection against it,
yeah.
but I'm just wondering if it
Well,
might have,
and
like...
and other audio boards, you have like when it does peak, you hear it like cut out for a second, and you get that pop when it comes back. This will automatically bring the level down if it gets too high, so that way it never peaks. You might reach peak, but it's gonna bring like the actual volume down, so you don't get the mute or the cut or the pop or anything like that. It just lowers you for that like really loud moment, and then you also have sound effects. So we can start using those for a lot of stuff. But you can record natively on it. It's got affects, like professional filters, and everything like that. So we've been looking at it since probably the beginning of the year. And we finally just decided, I mean, we've been trying to get it donated and stuff, and eventually we just decided, you know what? We got the money. Let's buy it. Because it's long overdue. And it's a pretty incredible piece of hardware. It is a little expensive, but 100% worth it. I am absolutely loving it so far.
Can you switch to my camera and do that, like, beautiful sound effect
The harp
when I
one.
open the donuts?
Oh, yeah. Ready?
Got Duncan.
Oh. One's already.
Oh, these are all
Been
mine.
consumed.
Wow. No, I'm just kidding. But we got our Duncan,
Yep.
and I honestly need to try this because I've been dying to try the pink donut. You want to go ahead and try one? Go on.
I'm not a sprinkle person.
Well, maybe you're just sick in the head. Maybe you're just sick in the
I've
head.
never had a pink donut from Dunkin' before.
Oh, here, wait, ready? Ready? I'm on you. Get ready. Wait, go put it back in real quick, and then pull it out. Ready, and go. It's a pink donut.
Oh, okay. I don't want to make a mess.
I think we've created a large issue in buying this.
No, we've solved many.
That's true. I think we've solved more issues than we've created.
And we
so.
got some fun stuff out of it.
Oh, yeah.
But those aren't just, the sound effects we'll be using all the time.
Oh, no.
We're
yeah.
going to add in some, it's not going to be like basic ones, like the
Yeah, I
weird
think,
cricket chirping that was heard earlier.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead and
think
play it.
the cricket chirping is a little strange. I don't quite get that one either.
Totally sounds like a cricket.
Yup, for sure.
It sounds like a cricket if it was like a stalker.
But what we can do is like one of the
Think about
really
it.
cool things, especially when we implement this into like our live sports workflow, our music to break will be native on the board now by one of the control buttons. So we don't have to travel with a secondary like laptop or another machine or whatever to play that music. It's all on the board. That's all we need. So that's really cool.
I keep hearing Michelle's chair in the background, and I'm like, what is
Oh,
that
I'm sorry.
weird noise? No, it's fine. It's fine. I was just like really creeped out by it. I was like,
I give the pink donut a 4 out of 10. Maybe like a 5. It's all right.
oh God, too many noises. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you guys have to witness this.
So yeah,
It's so good.
Roadcaster Pro, really cool. I love it. I'm excited for it.
You can hear donut sound effects with it.
Sound effect would there be for a donut?
Just that.
You'll be eating from
No.
This is literally so good. I'm not even gonna lie. But the thing is, Valentine's Day is already over, so I don't know why they put a jelly donut in there as a heart or whatever. But just close this first. There you go. Had a hard time closing it. But
Oh, and before I forget, another feature it's got has Bluetooth connectivity, which means we can now bring other guests into the podcast for like a quick little interview or something like that over the phone, which is really cool. So we'll be using that sometime.
just clarify it as prank calls, all right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call like a loaf and jug or something and be like, "Hey, what's up?" They'd be so creeped out by that. They should be like, "I can see you in the window."
Don't even.
I'm not gonna lie, but like, prank calls are so fun, especially when you just do them to like loaf and jugs and stuff like that. I've done it before. I've done it, and it's honestly so hilarious. But so we're gonna talk about Ukraine and Russia right now. So what have you guys heard so far about the whole thing?
Well, it started in 2014 on February 20th. I don't know what time, but I just know that they've always been like conflicting with each other.
Dude, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh
So
She got dates.
Wow,
the
you got the receipts.
the recent missile launches and stuff on Ukraine aren't like out of nowhere or just like, oh, he did it for fun. It's like a thing that they've been having for a while. And Russia's government is second biggest, largest, military strength in the world, as
Who's the
U.S. is the
first?
first.
Oh, we're
Of
the
course
first.
it's
We're the
us.
first.
Yeah. What?
Russia is the second
Come on.
with nuclear weapons. So compared Russia to Ukraine can't really fight back with much.
They are kicking some butt right now, though.
I think about 400 missiles have been launched, and one town has been completely taken over.
The thing about Ukraine, and it's so revolutionary seeing this, especially at our time, is the fact that you see a president, and I forgot his name. I'm sorry. What's his
Zelensky
name?
or Putin?
Volodymyr
Zelensky, yeah.
Zelensky.
Zelensky. What was it? Was the first one?
Volodymyr.
Vladimir?
So you have Vladimir Putin
Vladimir
and
Vladimir.
Volodymyr Zelensky.
Wow. Okay, so you see a President Zelensky literally fighting for his own country. And that is not something that we've seen since literally George Washington, where he has literally fought in combat, that kind of way. And honestly, that's like something that's very different to see in our time, where, I mean, you have Putin, who's literally just sitting down and just saying stuff to a camera and all that kind of jazz.
Spreading
and he can't even
propaganda.
fight his own wars. I'm probably going to get killed for saying that, to be honest, but... On that topic, though, the reason why I say that is Putin is literally so unanimously known for his people being sent.
Harsh dictatorship.
Well, yeah, that too. But people being sent and killing, not killing, but making people go missing, I guess. Like reporters or people who are up against him, you know, and opposing him because he's such a terrible leader. And
yeah, it's just your classic totalitarian, like whatever.
Yeah.
It's a
Right.
totalitarian, yeah.
Can't go against him, can't say anything, or you can be killed and put in jail.
I know.
Mhm.
And honestly, I don't know how I feel about that, saying this on YouTube. If he finds this video,
There's
please don't.
nothing-
No, I'm just kidding.
There's nothing he could do here.
Yeah, there literally is nothing that he could do here. But it's just like, I mean, you've seen it happen, you know, with his, you've heard about the things about his people going out and making these reporters, these people who've opposed him, going missing and all that kind of stuff. And you see that, and it really makes you worry about what kind of person he is. And that's one of the biggest things right now. And there's a lot of similarities between Putin right now and Hitler's downfall.
Mhm.
When you look at those similarities, you see that Hitler was like, during his downfall, he was very, very nervous about everything. He had a lot of health problems and that kind of stuff. And he was just really, I mean, that's why he ended his own life. I mean, he was done. Like, he knew that it was over after, what'd you say happened, Jacob? Because we talked about this last night.
Well, both sides converged. So the Allies, which were made up of like Great Britain, the United States, and then the then Soviet Union, because Hitler double-crossed Stalin, which is actually a good thing that he did, because we would have had way bigger issues if those two would have been friends for the entire war.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we would have been done.
Done for.
Done.
But so essentially what happened is the two sides converged in Berlin. So Russia came from the east, the United States and Great Britain came from the west, along with France and stuff like that. And they converged on Berlin. And that when they entered the city, that's when Hitler killed himself.
But, so there was this video where he was meeting with, I forgot what it was, with those youth.
Yeah, members of the Hitler Youth Movement or whatever.
Yeah, and he was standing, shaking their hands and everything, and he had his other hand, it was his left hand,
Yep.
behind his back, and it was shaking rapidly, like bad like this, like that.
Yeah.
And it was
Like at that point, he's
Yes.
just a shell of a human being at this point.
Exactly.
This was the last like recorded footage of Hitler at the
Yeah.
time, and that didn't surface until people found it in like a film treatment lab, because it was cut out by Goebbels, his like propaganda minister.
And he looked so terrible in the video. Like, he looked like bad, like just all over his face and everything like that. It seemed like he was like sick, honestly. And I mean, you kind of like have to like just look at it from his point of view. You have the whole countries against you and everything, and you know you're done.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. And it's kind of the same thing with Putin. Pretty much is. You see all of the countries up against him. None of his people are supporting him. If anything, they're protesting against him. And you also see some of the Ukrainians. They're helping some of the soldiers, and they're helping them, get away
When
from
they surrender.
Yeah, exactly. When they surrendered, I just saw a video about that, about how they were surrendering, and they gave them, warm tea and food
Mhm.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I know, and it's just like, it's really nice seeing that they're helping the soldiers now, because I haven't seen that until just today, I think, and that was just really life changing, I guess. Seeing that from a battle kind of perspective, and also with Ukraine just fighting up against Russia, doing whatever they can. And, a lot of them are scared, but a lot of them know that they have to protect. They have to defend their country. And that's really revolutionary, to be honest. But have you seen any other videos, just around TikTok or anything like that?
There's some of them being attacked, like missiles coming down, people
Oh,
getting
yeah,
shot.
that was, really...
I've seen so many of that, like people having to leave their homes. Just, I mean,
Even
it's scary.
pictures.
I think I saw NBC post on their TikTok. I was so surprised they even had a TikTok, to be honest. I just didn't even know some of these news sources have TikToks. It's just so surprising, seeing them. But they had a video of a tank, a Russian, well, not a tank, it was an APC, I think, maybe. And it was, obviously, those are very heavy, and it literally was just speeding down, and it ran over a car.
That was the tank.
It was a tank?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a lot of people debating whether it was real or not, because they remember seeing it in an old video or something like that. I don't even know what they were talking about. It was a video from 2014, but I don't know. I couldn't find anything about that. But, I mean, I do believe it, because, they're just doing...
Well, I think it has since been confirmed that it was last week.
Mhm.
Because that's one of the things that the International, I think, Criminal Court is what it's called. They've opened an investigation into Russian war crimes being committed in Ukraine that go against the Geneva Convention and stuff like that. And that was one of the things that they're investigating right now.
This is a lot. This is a lot for me to think about right now, especially when you just did the whole explosion thing. Because now that I just remembered when you did that.
That wasn't towards the war or anything.
Well, I meant
I just
when
meant,
you did
something
that,
bad
it
would
reminded me
happen.
of nuclear war, which is the other thing I was going to talk about. It's my panic, you guys, but this really does inflict some kind of panic on me. But I'll explain after and that kind of thing, so you won't be panicked. I don't know if you guys know this, but Putin put his family in a nuclear shelter.
I did not know that.
And it's what is that supposed to mean, man? Don't be like this. I really don't think that he is going to do this nuclear war thing and all that. I don't think our side's going to do it. I don't think anyone else is going to do it, because they know that we all have defenses. And if you do it enough times, the world is literally going to end at that point. A large portion of the world, at least.
Yeah, I don't know if this is real because can't believe everything you see on the internet. But I did see a video of him talking, and it was translated, obviously. So someone could have translated it wrong. I don't know, but he said that he realizes if he uses nuclear weapons that there is no winner.
No,
that's
there
scary,
isn't.
and he's well aware, and he'd rather have power and basically ruin the entire world.
I know, which is what. Go continue.
No,
Sorry.
it's okay. It's just he'd rather blow up the whole world than have peace.
Is that
with
what you
anyone.
think he was saying, or did he just say that?
No, I mean, I don't know. I just think he likes his power.
I mean, that's a concept that comes even from the Cold War. I mean, you hear
That came from Hitler as well. I mean, he wanted to, like you said, he wanted to destroy everything.
That was his like scorched earth policy.
Yeah.
That was when he was losing, but Hitler didn't have a nuke.
That's
He didn't have one. So
I know.
The term I'm talking about from the Cold War is like mutually assured destruction. And that was the concept that if a war ever broke out between the United States and Russia, that would be the end of the world. Well, I guess the Soviet Union then, because that's the Cold War and everything. So if a war ever did break out, you see what's called that mutually assured destruction. Everything is gone if anyone pulls the trigger at that point.
Right.
Doesn't matter who you are. If you're in the Soviet Union or the United States, doesn't matter where you are, human beings are done.
Yeah.
And right now, I mean, Putin's using it as a threat to keep people out.
Right.
But I agree with you. He's too
smart.
He cares
like,
too much about the power that he holds. He's not willing to do that because he knows when he does that everyone loses everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's pretty smart in using it as a threat right now because it's keeping people out of it. But I don't think he will. He will. Because he cares too much about keeping the power that he holds right now.
So that kind of,
which isn't much.
Calms down our fear.
Apparently, based on
Yeah.
the whole like protests and everything like that. Apparently, he's not holding that much right now.
No, but sorry, but he was thinking of invading Poland as well. Obviously, for more power, more land. But he knows that it would not be a good idea since Poland and the U.S. are allies, and if he strikes one of our allies, we have to strike back.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, and
That's
Poland's
the
a
thing.
part of NATO. So
That's-
those
yeah.
36 countries in
NATO.
NATO, once anyone's attacked, they enact Article 5 and everyone goes in.
Yep.
Which, fun fact, the only time that Article 5 of NATO's charter has been enacted? Do you know when? It has once. It was after the September 11th attacks. And everyone went into Afghanistan because the United States was attacked. In open warfare. So like the NATO council, whatever they call it, I don't know the specific name, deemed the September 11th attacks an act of war, and they enacted Article 5.
That actually reminded me, for a while, a couple of years ago, I don't know when, but Ukraine wanted to be a part of NATO? NATO, right? NATO. And Putin mainly was like, no, because he knows that if he strikes...
He saw that, yeah. He wanted to go up against that whole thing, because then it would just lead to a lot of problems with him trying to invade.
Didn't want Ukraine to be part of NATO, because then
exactly.
everyone would have to strike back.
Well, and NATO was first created as a response to the growing influence of the Soviet Union.
Exactly.
So, that was the West. The Soviet Union was the East. You always hear that in the Cold War. So, I mean, Ukraine enters NATO. NATO's now on the doorstep of Russia. That's the first time NATO's ever touched the border of Russia.
So, I was going to talk about the Bay of Pigs, because I thought that was really interesting, which is part of the Cold War. Do you know what the Bay of Pigs is or no? No, you don't.
I don't.
That's okay. I remember watching a documentary on it, and I thought the documentary was really interesting in the way that it was put, but I don't know what that document was called, so I'm just going to search up. I still have the lyrics to our karaoke verse.
Yeah, playing around with the soundboard earlier.
Yeah, we were messing around with the soundboard, but so the Bay of Pigs, if you don't know.
I think it was a CIA operation, wasn't it? If I remember right.
It was.
Yeah.
I think it was. Let's see.
Which, this is another crazy fact. Did you know this about the CIA? So they are not allowed to operate on U.S. soil. It is illegal for the CIA to conduct any operations on U.S. soil.
Operations as in?
Whatever, going after a war criminal or whatever.
So combat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything. So they're essentially what it is when you're on U.S. soil, it's up to the FBI. And then when you leave U.S. soil, the CIA can do whatever they want.
That is
I feel like this is the type of stuff we should learn in school.
I know.
Like these terms.
I did
don't even
learn
know what they
about
mean.
NATO and GovEcon though, which was really interesting, and how all of it works.
Didn't learn
as
about
a
it
whole.
till literally the thing started with Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah,
Like, recently.
educate myself.
That is really true. That's kind of like sad, to be honest, because I didn't even know like what it meant at all. I just heard everyone using the term NATO. All of a sudden, I was like,
Yeah. What,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Okay, so I'm looking at it right here, and it says that. Okay, this is actually kind of funny. I just heard that, but in Spanish, it's called Evasión de Bahía de Cochinos. If you don't know what cochinos means,
I really hope you got that right.
Yeah, that's
I did.
Okay.
I don't know about Bahia. Pretty sure I did,
Let me
but
see.
everything else, yes,
Where is this?
on the top.
wait. I want to see.
Invasión de
Bahia?
Bahia, because there's Asia, which is toward, and I know that's kind of like similar, like in the way this is written, but it means the Bay of Pigs invasion. And I don't know what the other one is. There's another Spanish version of it, but it was a failed landing operation on the southwestern coast of Cuba in 1961 by Cuba exiles who opposed Fidel Castro's Cuban Revolution. You guys know who Fidel Castro is?
Heard the name. Don't know who
Heard
it
the name.
is.
So, what was Fidel Castro? He was a Cuban revolutionary lawyer and a politician who was the leader of Cuba from 1959 to 2008. Lived a long time, that guy. Jeez. I forgot how old he was before he, wait, was he? Let's see. When did he?
He couldn't have been born in 59. He like had pretty much all the power in the 50s.
He was
by then.
born in 1926,
There you
August
go.
13.
Yep.
Died November 25th, 2016. I remember when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And he died at the age of 90,
Ooh.
which is insane. I know a lot of people were really happy when he died because it was really bad. I mean, the things he did was like terrible. And
Well, and he was a huge issue for the United States.
exactly.
Because he was all buddy-buddy with the Soviet Union.
Mhm.
And now the Soviet Union's in our backyard.
And the fact that he lived, that long, he still had like some power,
Mm-hmm.
And there was still kind of a worry about him. And, a lot of people that lived in Cuba were happy that he had died because he no longer had that power, obviously. But he served as the Prime Minister of Cuba from 1959 to 1976 and President from 1976 to 2008. And during the Bay of Pigs invasion, basically it was covertly financed and directed by the U.S. government. The operation took place at the height of the Cold War, and its failure led to major shifts in international relations between Cuba, the U.S., and, of course, the Soviet Union. And the Bay of Pigs, I'm trying to find where it actually explains it because it's better. I literally can't find it. Hold on.
That's why you're supposed to come prepared to this.
This one I wasn't.
Oh, the Bay of Pigs, you
Yeah.
weren't? Yeah.
Because I knew that it would be all there, I thought, but apparently not. Anyways, I remember the Bay of Pigs was something between ships and all that.
Well, yeah. It was essentially a state-sponsored by the United States invasion of Cuba with the effort to overthrow Fidel Castro because he was becoming a bigger and bigger problem.
So you explain it.
Yeah. So
Because you just know a lot.
he and it was a terrible failure. And it became an even worse failure when it did come out that it was like sponsored by the CIA and it was a failed like American operation. Yeah, I mean it's one of the worst failures in any operation for the United States.
That was probably one of the most, like, at the time it was just, like, really scary because there was always the fear of communism entering the U.S. That's what the worry was for NATO. And that was it kind of the reasons why they had made it as well? Was because of the fear of communism entering,
Oh yeah,
whichever country.
That's where you see like the Iron Curtain come in.
Exactly.
Does everyone know what the Iron Curtain is?
No.
So
Gov-Econ.
I think the first person who used the term was Winston Churchill.
Yes.
And basically the Iron Curtain was like the division in Europe between the communist-controlled Soviet Union and the West. And that was the Iron Curtain. And so NATO was kind of like the front line of that Iron Curtain. You had a perfect division between the Soviet Union and the West. So, yeah.
I was going to say that also reminded me, because in history we were doing a thing. We were watching something for World War II between Hitler, Churchill, and Stalin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we had to compare them to what's happening now. So, like, how Churchill's not running from whatever was happening then, and how Zelensky isn't running from Putin and stuff like that.
That's interesting to like compare it like that.
Yeah, there's like a lot of comparisons now, and it's really crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of want to get into our next topic so badly because I have so much information on it, but I won't. I'll keep it. But I don't know what else. I'm trying to think of
and there
what
are a
else
lot
there
of
is to be said.
like similarities. But like you look at the start of World War II, like how Hitler just totally steamrolled Poland, like almost instantly. I think Putin thought he'd be able to do that to Ukraine, and that's not what's happening. And there's even the thoughts circulating of, is Putin like dying or something? Like, what's wrong with him? Why is he doing this? So I don't know. It's just a very strange situation. It's constantly evolving. But one thing that is like very weird, especially for a conflict at this scale, is that it's never happened before when social media has existed.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
So, the things that we see and everything like that has never happened before.
No, it's so weird. Like, I'm getting basically all of my information and things I know, things I see are through TikTok, which is so
which was one of our
weird.
first topics.
Yeah,
I
but
swear,
it all comes
of our
back
topics,
to it. Like
they just
everything
relate.
is so relevant on there.
I know.
Like, we're learning about the war on TikTok.
I just do actual research.
Well, I mean, yeah, you
I don't have
should.
TikTok.
You should do that, but
You should, yeah.
and not listen to TikTok. But it's all over there, which is
Because
crazy.
it's not
You could
always
see
accurate.
like
But
some of
I'm
it's not
biased.
information though. Some of it's just like people posting, like people in Ukraine having to leave their houses.
I
And you
mean,
just, like,
the
you're
media
sitting
isn't
on
always
your couch
accurate.
and watching that.
Nothing's really accurate unless
exactly.
you're there.
Exactly.
I was going to say something else, but I completely forgot.
It's all right. We still got some cookie from the last.
You're so brush it onto me.
I'm just kidding. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Comparing, like I said, comparing Hitler's downfall with Putin's downfall right now, because that's pretty much
So that's what
what's
it
going
seems
on.
like, certainly. I mean,
Exactly.
it doesn't seem like he's marching across the world. This definitely seems like very similar to the end of Hitler
Yes.
in the things he's doing and the orders he's giving.
Comparing the two most infamous, literally most insane right now men ever, dictators. If you compare both of them and you look at Hitler when he was in his prime, and this is what a lot of people talk about, is the persuasion skills that he had and his manipulation and his influence. Those are three of the most hugest ways that he just persuaded anyone.
Appeasement.
Yeah, appeasement. And he had a lot of connections with a lot of people and got them to persuade their people and all that. And Putin, he's not really like that at all. And if he was like that, it would be much more scarier, honestly, because then he would have a lot of people to rally with him.
Yeah,
And
Hitler was really smart in the way that he got people to like be on his side and like fight with him.
Exactly.
Mhm. Yeah, he's probably the worst human being to ever live on this earth.
Mhm.
But, and historians say this all the time, he's one of the greatest public speakers in human history.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like literally a military genius. He
Yeah.
was, like,
Yeah, they're
insane.
at the beginning. I mean, not even the United States and Great Britain and France and everyone like that, I mean, they could not figure out his game plan in any way.
I mean, I could just only imagine, though, like, oh, God, living in that time period.
I want to circle back to the whole Ukraine-Russian thing on social media, is that a lot of people who aren't experiencing it are making really bad jokes about it.
That's true.
Which is just, like, really twisted. Because, like, why joke about something you're not even experiencing? Like, you're privileged right now to live in the U.S. who's not experienced war at all. And you're like, oh, haha, first war that I'm experiencing. I don't have an outfit. Guys, what should I wear? Like,
Oh, my God.
No, I know.
Come
Stuff like
on.
that is just, it makes me really mad, honestly. Just people that don't like take other people's hardships seriously. Like,
Like, be happy you're not fighting for your own life right now.
mm-hmm.
yeah.
But
Like, you live in the U.S. You're like, well, people who live in the U.S. Obviously, not everyone is
Mhm.
making fun of it who lives in the U.S. But like, you're literally living where the strongest military protection is, and you're worried about freaking Putin coming after you.
Mhm.
Like, come on.
It's, yeah, I really can't believe and, like, just grasp, like, those kind of comments on, like, TikToks and that kind of stuff. And it's just, like, it's still so revolutionary seeing all the people getting unified, whether it's a Russian soldier and a Ukrainian civilian, and, they're just all unifying together. And they're all going to make this stop because we don't want war.
Nobody wanted war besides Putin.
This is a battle, It's not war, which is, a different
More
type of
stuff.
scale.
But
Yeah.
it can
And
reach
everyone,
there if he
and then
tries.
everyone just doesn't want that to happen at all. No one wants that to turn into a war. And seeing how small scale it is right now, the U.S. has been trying to, help and support Ukraine. And we saw the Ukrainian ambassador at the, I always forget the name, State of the Union address. There we go.
Who's at the State of the Union address?
Yeah.
I didn't think I saw that.
Yeah, she was there.
Okay.
His top aide, is that what her? It's like, and
She was the
Yeah.
UN
her
Ukrainian
name
ambassador,
written
which is
down
United
somewhere.
Nations.
Okay. Oh, I know what you're
Oh.
talking
Mhm.
about. Okay. Because I know there was another ambassador that was welcomed in Parliament in London, which I never knew this. The British blow my mind. Like, every time I hear something new about them. They apparently, like, it's usually frowned upon to applause in the parliamentary chambers. And when the Ukrainian ambassador was introduced, like, it was standing ovation applause, which is apparently, like, extremely rare in Parliament because you're technically not supposed to do it.
Maybe they should just calm down, stop being strict. I'm sorry, but the Queen's guards are like, I feel so bad for them.
Did you see that one video of a kid getting hit? She was like 5 by the guard. Not like
Uh-huh.
smacked or anything, but like, you know how like they
It was on
salute,
accident.
right? Yeah. And he like
And he
put
just
his hand
walked
back and
away?
he went like that. Well, he can't do anything when the Queen's there. But I'm pretty sure he like apologized after.
Oh, okay, that's good. I mean, that's good, but it's still such a strict thing,
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need any of that right now. We don't need any
Not,
of
not
that.
the topic we're supposed to be on.
Yeah.
No.
But how much time have we gotten in so far?
44 minutes.
Oh,
So you ready to
jeez,
move
that
on?
went by fast.
You have a lot
Oh
of
my
information
gosh,
on this
maybe
next
it's this
topic.
Coffee.
Oh, it's
Yum,
about
yum.
the same amount
Not
here.
sponsored.
Not yet.
All right. We're ready to get into my favorite topic that I've been wanting to talk about, which is the Babushka Lady.
Add in a sound effect.
Oh, I don't know if I have.
Clapping.
Oh, wait. I might. Hang on.
That was not the sound effect that I wanted. It was the clapping one.
Okay,
Oh.
wait, say it again. Say it.
The topic we're going to talk about next, my most favorite topic,
Oh, wait. Hang on. Let me do this. Oh, wait. Yeah, go ahead.
is the Babushka Lady. Okay, I didn't like that one either, to be honest.
Picky.
That's why I thought
am
that was
picky.
perfect, because, like, the Babushka Lady, it's like a big
It's scary.
conspiracy thing.
Yeah.
So, like,
Okay.
you got the Babushka Lady. She's a conspiracy.
Okay.
It fits.
If it's what you want.
That's why I did that one.
You're testing me. You're testing me. You're done. You're done. We're adding that one soon,
Yeah.
I hope. But so if you guys don't know, the famous picture of the Babushka Lady, and you have no idea what this is, do
I
you?
do. I
Oh, you
did
searched it up?
research.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
Only a
And you-
little though.
I don't know the name, but if I hear some information, maybe I will. Or
Maybe you
maybe I
will.
won't.
Okay. All right. So, first picture is more of a good look at her. Second one is the most, like famous picture that she was in
Mm-hmm.
when the JFK assassination happened.
Right.
And so let me ask you guys a question, including you, Jacob.
Okay.
So, do you guys think that there was some kind of group involved with JFK's assassination?
I don't know, and I don't want to know, and I'm never going to speak on that topic.
I don't know. To me, there's
Skeptical.
I mean, that was 1963. So we're talking, well, it was 50 years in 2013. Okay. So we're now at what? About 60 years in November? Because that'll be 22. No, we'll be at 59. So 60 years will be November of 2023. So in that time frame, there is no way that they have kept everyone quiet, because there's no way they pulled that off with like 2 people. There was if you were going to pull something like that off, I mean, you had to include like 50 different people.
Bunch of
And in
names
60 years, there's no way you've kept 50 people quiet.
or more.
What did you say?
I didn't say anything. I don't know.
You really don't know?
Maybe. Maybe not. I'm guessing
right.
you think there is.
Yes.
It's valid.
So let me get into the groups that were apparently some of these suspects involved with his assassination. You have the CIA. Don't know why that's a thing, though. I don't know why. Do you know why that maybe the CIA wouldn't have liked him? Because of the choices he probably made, something as president. I don't
Right.
know.
That plays more into the fact of I don't think it's a thing, because they have no reason.
Well, the next is the military-industrial complex. That was...
So you're
I forgot what the
talking like
reason was.
Northrop Grumman, stuff like that, like the contractors that make stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they didn't like the choices that he made for them. But I forgot what it was. But then we have like organized crime, talking about the mob here. And then the next one is the government of Cuba, led by, of course, Fidel Castro, and Cuban exiles. A lot of people that were, I guess, around the time of when the assassination happened, obviously a lot of people were shocked and, just very, just very shaken about what had happened. I mean, the assassination, because it was literally so gruesome, especially seeing that on when the film was released and all that. And a lot of those people still wanted answers after it happened. They didn't have enough closure, especially hearing about, you know, who assassinated him, and also, I don't know if you guys know this, but the guy who assassinated him, as he was in jail or whatever, he got killed. And his name was Jack Ruby,
Mm-hmm.
but the assassin, his name was Lee Harvey Oswald. And apparently Dallas, Texas, where it happened, was considered, I guess, the least friendly towards JFK. I forgot why, but
Well, JFK was a Democrat.
oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Texas has
Texas.
historically been pretty right.
Mhm.
Right.
And so, and I'll give you these photos. So we'll have the first one
Yeah.
pop up right here in the video. So obviously the lady that's circled right now in red is the Babushka Lady. And as you can tell, all the people are, and this is when it had already happened. He got shot and everything. He was dead. And all the people were lying on the grass. And I'm just going to show this to Michelle real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So notice how people are lying on the grass.
Or running.
Or running, like that police officer right there. And notice how she's just standing there.
Yeah. She's just chilling.
And it's not like I'm saying she had some kind of like technology where like it was a camera, because that's what she's holding. That's what she was known for holding, was a camera. And she was there, captured all of it. And people really wanted her footage because she was so close to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot what the other thing is. I can understand, though, as the story goes along and as I tell you guys, I can understand why she was standing still, because you're in so much shock in that moment, you know? And a lot of people deal with that differently.
Mm-hmm.
So, Abraham Zapruder, he was a Ukrainian, born American, clothing manufacturer who witnessed the assassination of United States President John F. Kennedy in Dallas, Texas. And he unexpectedly captured the shooting in a home movie while filming the presidential limousine and motorcade as it traveled through Dealey Plaza. And the Zapruder film is regarded as the most complete footage of the assassination. And a lot of faces in the Zapruder film have came forward and obviously told police what they saw and law enforcement. And like I said earlier, considering how close she was, they had, you know, seen the film, but the film wasn't released to the public during this time when the assassination had happened. It released like years later to the public. And most faces gave what they saw. Like most of the faces that were seen in the video, the Zapruder film, were people that had already came out and told the police what they saw. And considering how close she was, they saw her. I mean, she was a very distinct lady, and they have a picture of her. And I don't know if this is in the Zapruder film or if it's a different one, but that's her right there. I think I showed you this one already.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry. But yeah, she they caught her and everything. They saw her, noticed that she had come forward. She had a camera, and they thought it was crucial footage. A lot of people thought she was in her 40s, and honestly, it kind of looks like that. She looks a little old, you know? She looks a little old.
I
don't know
can't
if
even
you
tell.
Here.
No, I still can't tell.
I
You
thought
can't
though,
really tell. You can't really tell.
I thought though that like all those people had been identified, so they were questioned, but they couldn't like identify her clear enough.
Here's the thing about that. So, there's still a lot more story, but I'll get to it. So, people thought she was in her 40s. That's what they thought. She didn't appear young, and it was all the same. There were other people who caught what was on camera, and they saw the same woman appear in most of the films.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, people are running, lying down, yet she stands still. Nobody tried to track her down because of what you said, how hard it was. And let's see. Let's talk about Lee Harvey Oswald and how he was like a very, he was a U.S. Marine veteran. So, I mean, just think about that. And also, he was placed in juvenile detention at the age of 12 for truancy, during which time he was assessed by a psychiatrist as emotionally disturbed due to a lack of normal family life. After attending 22 schools in his youth, he quit repeatedly and finally, when he was 17, joined the Marines. Oswald was court-martialed twice while in the Marines and jailed. And then he was honorably released from active duty in the Marine Corps into the reserve, then promptly flew to Europe and defected to the Soviet Union in October 1959. Talks about where he lived, married a Russian woman named Marina, and had a daughter. And then he had returned to the U.S. with his wife and eventually settled in Dallas, where they had a second daughter. Oswald shot and killed Kennedy on November 22, 1963, from the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository as the president traveled. And about 45 minutes after assassinating Kennedy, Oswald shot and killed a police officer on a local street. And then he slipped into a movie theater and was then arrested for his murder, the officer's murder. Because that's pretty much how they got him. But then they had learned that he was the one who assassinated Kennedy because of his description, and someone had seen him actually doing it. But, of course, he had denied this. And he was then shot by a local nightclub owner, Jack Ruby, on live television in the basement of Dallas Police Headquarters. Then after that, the Warren Commission pretty much assumed that he was in it, and it was only him that assassinated JFK, and no one else was involved. No other group, nothing like that. But, you know, with them saying he acted alone, a lot of people didn't believe this, and there were some conspiracy theories.
I mean, you can't go in and just like, oh, today I'm going to kill somebody. Like,
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
especially him being a U.S. Marine, and then he had went to the Soviet Union. He literally went over there, like, all that kind of stuff. And he got involved. Like, you know, that's really, really weird how he defected. And
can't just, like, go outside and be like, hey, today I'm going to murder JFK. Like,
and that's even weirder that literally just, you know, I think it was a few days after that Jack Ruby had decided to kill Lee Harvey Oswald. Who just decides that out of nowhere as well?
I think
Those
the
are just
timeline was like all in the day.
It's
not
all in the day. No,
I think so. Yeah.
No way.
Let me see. Let me double check.
Okay, well, I'll just continue, but just tell me when.
Let's see. So he
Oh, shoot.
he was killed on November 24th, and I think JFK was killed on the 23rd, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it was like early, or I guess 22nd.
22nd.
So 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. So then it was a little longer than I thought. But still, I mean, that was like instant turnaround.
So, like to include this. The conclusion of the Warren Commission was basically a group of people that tried to conclude who was involved with this, had supported their conclusion of him acting alone through investigations from the Dallas Police Department, the FBI, the United States Secret Service, and the House Select Committee on Assassinations. So, I mean, everything forensic-wise, ballistic-wise, all pointed to him. And, you know, most of the public opinion knew where all the shots had came from. But, so, yeah, it was 2 days after. Yeah, I have it right here. It was 2 days after the shooting. Lee Harvey Oswald was killed by Jack Ruby. And let's see. So here's the thing about the whole group thing. There was no theory linking Harvey Lee Oswald and Jack Ruby together, which was weird. They didn't link. So why would someone, you know, just go and kill a man, you know?
Well,
just
people say that Jack Ruby just said, "You shot the president, I'm going to shoot you."
Yeah. That's true. But why? Why? I just don't understand, you know, just like logically. But so the investigation showed all 3 shots were from Oswald's rifle, meaning they came from behind the president, considering he was shooting from a building behind him. And the first shot had missed JFK, and the second went through JFK and John Connally, who was the governor of Texas, and he was sitting in front of him. So, I mean, it's possible, you know, but it's really weird how it went through JFK and hit John Connally.
Skin and muscle and stuff.
Exactly.
And it.
Well, I mean, it is a rifle.
Oh.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, it is a
Okay,
rifle.
I didn't remember what kind of gun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
My bad.
it's yeah, it's pretty much possible. But it's still weird. But as the years pass, think about this. Some eyewitnesses came forward and said they saw a puff of smoke and a commotion on the grassy knoll to the front right of JFK, which apparently was the suggestion of a second gunman, much closer to the president than Oswald.
I think I've heard about that.
You did?
Yeah.
Like that it was coming from someone else?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly?
That there was something else on the grassy knoll, like another area. I don't know.
Yeah. So that really sparked some conversation between all the people at the time. And just keep in mind, though, this is like as the years pass. So this is like, I'm trying to think. I feel like it was 3 years later that some eyewitnesses had came forward and said that. So get this. 7 years after his death, Gary Shaw, who was a researcher in the assassination of JFK, attended a church revival in the small town of Joshua, Texas. His views were much in favoritism of the idea of another shooter. And he shows them, these preachers, the Zapruder Film, which hasn't been shown to the public yet, even after 7 years. And it was not shown, obviously, on a large scale, like on television. He thought that the film was kept in lock because it showed Kennedy being hit from the front. Because the whole thing was that his head had snapped back, and that's what everyone thought it was coming from the front, which was really weird, even though it was from the back. So, like Lee was behind him. But, get this. This is where the Babushka Lady comes in. So here's the part that you wanted. He was then introduced to a woman by one of the preachers the next day. And her name is Beverly Oliver. She was blonde, big-haired, and seemed to be in her mid-20s. The preacher mentions she was there, and she tells him her story. She was 17 near the time just before Kennedy's death and worked at the Colony Club right next to Jack Ruby's nightclub. Beverly was supposedly the Babushka Lady and filmed the shooting and spends the night shocked in her home at what she had witnessed and takes so many sleeping pills and finds out her friend Jack Ruby had murdered Oswald because he was a nightclub owner. That was his club. It was right next to hers where she had worked. She was a singer. And the reason why they found out that she was the lady is because they told her, Gary, who was the researcher that talked with her, and some other guy, they told her, they went to where it had happened, and they told her to stand where she saw the whole thing. Guess where she stood? Right where I showed you in that picture.
Really? I read the exact opposite. I mean, I only looked at like 2 websites, but so I don't know. But I heard that they confirmed that it wasn't Oliver because the camera that she had hadn't been released in that year yet, and that she stood in like a slightly different spot. I don't know.
I was going to get to that. I don't know about the spot thing. And the other thing is that this is actually a really crazy part of the story, is that the following Monday night, so this is her story she was telling to Gary, she sees apparently 2 FBI agents waiting for her, or so she thought. She figures out that one agent is FBI and the other one is CIA. And that's how he introduced himself. They knew who she was and asked her for the film. They knew she was the Babushka Lady.
Mm-hmm.
And they promised to her that they would give her camera back to her in 10 days. What do you think happened? She never received the footage back.
Right.
That's what happened. And she never sees the agents again. So, Beverly, as she's telling her story, she claimed that one night, a few weeks before the assassination, she went to her friend Jack Ruby's club, and there was a strange man sitting at Jack's table, and Jack introduced him as Lee and said that he was his friend from the CIA, which was really weird. This could be so far-fetched, but it's such an interesting story, and how Beverly explains it. She is still alive, I think, today. And she is telling her story with ease. And she then realizes later after the assassination that he was Lee Harvey Oswald when she had saw his appearance. And Gary was excited to hear this because he'd been trying to prove that Lee, Jack, and maybe the CIA was somehow involved in Kennedy's death. So, like I said, Gary wanted to prove that she was the Babushka Lady, and she stood in that spot. Beverly then tells Gary about a woman who was in the club, or from Jack Ruby's club, named Jada. She met Oswald too, or this Lee, but she disappeared after the assassination, never to be heard from again. On March 6th, 1975, the Zapruder film finally aired on network television. The public sees the third bullet which hits his head, and it was clear to the viewers that his head had snapped backwards, which had indicated that the bullet might have been going through the front, which was weird. I mentioned that earlier. But here's the thing that you said. People had thought that she was a fraud for the whole camera thing. Apparently she had this camera that was not even released in the U.S. that was from China, or maybe it was Japan or something. And it was not released in the U.S. at that time. Didn't even know what camera she was talking about. And this was a moving camera. It wasn't just, photography. Still camera. Which made it more crucial. But Jada was then found and questioned by the FBI when she actually, she was found and she told her story. And she said that she was questioned by the FBI and didn't know of any relations between Jack and Lee, nor did she ever remember seeing a Lee, which was another thing that made people think that Beverly was a fraud. She talks about her story a lot, though, like I said. And she says that she had one regret of this whole entire thing, which was coming forward, because she knew that there would be backlash, and she knew what would come out of it, what would people think. There would be a lot of opposing sides, and there would be people that maybe believed her. But that's pretty much it about the Babushka Lady.
Wait, where'd she get her name from?
Mysterious.
So it was actually the guy that was with Gary when they told her to go stand in the spot, because he had told or gave him the idea, you know, we should ask her where she stood so we can make sure that it's her. And his name was Richard, and he had made up that name because of the thing she had on her head, the cloth. And she was just very a mysterious woman, because she had never came out until such a later time than that, which is what makes it one of the most interesting stories ever to me. And I'm trying to think. I feel like there was something else that I had missed, but I think that was it, to be honest. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
But I still think the whole Soviet Union thing and how he defected over there, like Lee, was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And that they had never confirmed that it was from someone else.
Right.
And that was on Wikipedia, so you know that's real.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As is everything else here. But, you know, that's just a theory.
Mm-hmm.
Game theory. I'm done.
Right.
All right.
All right.
Well, let me just look through anything here. Make sure that there's nothing else. You know, I guess the other thing that I had to say about her not being the Babushka Lady and that she had made up this entire story, even though, I mean, the Babushka Lady was, that name is so funny to me, I don't know why, but, the Babushka Lady was like very, I mean, she was real. She was in the footage. She was captured on camera, everything. It's a real lady. We don't know if Beverly Oliver was her, but, you know, Beverly had come out about her story and everything. And the other thing was that there was some complications with people thinking, well, people thought that she was a fraud also because of her age and how that would have worked at the time. I mean, she looks so old, like in that photo. She looks somewhat old, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But she's not. And she was 17 at the time. That's really, you know, questionable. And, geez, I can't believe I just talked about that one, like, 20 minutes. Jeez. I need a breather from that. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
That was a lot.
It was.
That was a lot. But that was the other thing. So, you guys' final thoughts?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all that can come out is just wow.
It was a good story. I mean, when I heard it, it was just like, I don't know. I honestly really think that there was another group involved. Don't know who it was, but it's really weird. All of it was suspicious at the time, and that's all that people could think, and I feel like a lot of people still believe that to this day. But wasn't there, I feel like there was some news that came out that apparently someone else, I don't think someone else was involved. It was something different than that. It was something about the JFK assassination, and it was like really important, but I don't know what it was.
I don't know. See, I don't know. I stand by my thought of it's been 60 years. There's no way that they kept the amount of people that would have been needed to pull something like that off quiet for 60 years.
That's what I'm saying, you know.
That's a
but
good point.
Yeah, it's a really good point, but I don't know.
Who knows?
You know, the CIA is they're scary. But I don't know. I just really do think that there was some other group involved. Two men couldn't have just done this, you know, thing on their own. I just, in that time, that timeline, that's such a short timeline for everything to happen. That is really short. So that's all there is to be said, I guess. So, I just hope we don't get nuked.
Well,
I
that's
hope
a
we
way to
live.
end it.
yeah, that's a way to.
It's really crazy how all these stories and all the podcasts are parallel with all the topics, and it's actually really perfect timing that I talked about this today and not like way back then when Russia had finally started invading Ukraine, because I had talked with Jacob about it. I was like, I really want to talk about the Babushka Lady,
Mm-hmm.
but there wasn't anything to grow on other than talk about other conspiracy theories and then mix that in. But yeah, it was really perfect timing, but scary now. I don't know what's going to happen next, man. And I think that's pretty much what we're all worried about. But I think both sides are smart enough not to do nuclear war.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's your key word right there.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah, I know. All right. So we're going to end this podcast right here. Unless you guys have anything.
Nope.
Nothing
Nope.
else? All right. Jacob, is there anything new? Nothing on the
Not
news?
that I can think of, no. Yeah, nothing that happened like since we started it, so.
All right. Well, going to end it here. And I'm Isaiah Ortiz.
I'm Michelle Buttram.
Justice and CISO.
And we're going to end this podcast right here. And we'll see you in the next episode.